Just when we're getting used to three families of cameras, point and shoot, mirrorless, and DSLR, Sony throws us a curveball with the A3000. Hi again, I'm Larry Becker. So what's this new camera from Sony all about? Well, it's a consumer-friendly mirrorless camera that's lightweight, relatively small. It uses Sony's E-mount lenses like the rest of the mirrorless lineup from Sony, but it's shaped like a small DSLR. And while I really appreciate Sony's mirrorless lineup and the comfort of their grips more than a lot of other mirrorless cameras I've tried, I like this grip even more. Maybe because I'm more comfortable with the shape of a DSLR, or maybe because it has a viewfinder in addition to the LCD monitor so that I can hold it up to my eye for framing shots. Ergonomically, this camera is quite nice, though the lightweight and plastic body do lean more toward the casual photographer than an enthusiast or pro. There's a shooting mode dial, a dedicated movie record button so that you can shoot from any mode dial position, which is nice, and Sony's now familiar 3 soft key interface. I like how intuitively Sony makes using 3 buttons that don't even have any labels on them. They just make the LCD panel a little bit wider and put the button labels on the right edge of that screen. Let's talk about the specs of the Alpha A3000. As mentioned, it's got an E-mount, so you can use any compatible E-mount lenses from Sony or other manufacturers. It captures 20.1 megapixel images using an APS-C sized Exmor APS-HD CMOS sensor. It can shoot bursts up to 3.5 frames a second, and it processes images with a Sony Bionz processor. It has a pop-up flash and a multi-interface shoe for optional flashes and accessories. It uses SD, SDHC, and SDXC memory cards, as well as Memory Stick Pro Duo and Memory Stick Pro HG Duo cards. It captures 1080i or 1080p HD video, and it saves those files as AVC HD or MP4. It has 25 contrast detection autofocus points, and it's reasonably quick focusing in good light, but low light slows things down a little bit. It's not bad, you just can't use the word quick when you're talking about autofocusing in dim conditions. And finally, the ISO can be manually set from 100 up to 16,000. In practice, high ISO numbers like that can help you get usable pictures in low light that other cameras might miss. I started seeing hints of splotchy color patches at ISO 3200, but the images were still pretty faithful to the subject. At ISO 6400, the JPEG processing makes the images pretty smeary in order to reduce the noise. So from there on, you'll lose image detail and start seeing more of those patches of color noise. However, if you're used to point-and-shoot images, you'll probably be happy with what you get, all the way up to ISO 12400. The camera has pro shooting modes like Program Auto, Aperture Priority, Shutter Priority, and Full Manual Mode. But there are some consumer-friendly modes too, like Intelligent Auto or Superior Auto mode, as well as Scene modes and Sweep Panorama. And let me mention that there's a great set of controls for novices called Photo Creativity. Once you're there, you'll get simple control over several important aspects of your images, including background defocus, brightness, color, vividness, and even special effects, which Sony calls picture effects. Those are things like toy camera, pop color, posterization, a few monochrome effects, and more. The A3000 has some consumer-friendly features that have been around for a few years now, but they're still like magic to me. There's face recognition, so that the camera will focus on faces anytime they're in the frame. There's face registration, so that you can register one particular person to have their face be more important than the other points of focus in the scene. And there's even Smile Shutter that automatically clicks when it sees a smiling face. And continuing with the consumer-friendly theme, there are helpful menu descriptions for every menu item, which pop up automatically. Now you can turn those off when you get comfortable with the camera controls And there's even a built-in shooting tips list to help you take better pictures. Besides all the great features for novices, enthusiasts and pros might be surprised at some of the more advanced features of the A3000. For example, I love the manual focus assist. When focusing manually, the LCD automatically zooms in for enlarged detail to help you nail the focus. And there's focus peaking, which is a screen enhancement that exaggerates areas of contrast by painting them with a color when they're in focus. This is especially handy for manual focusing during filming. Finally, there's a zoom feature that pros and novices will both appreciate. Besides the optical zoom of your camera's lens, the A3000 can do a little more zooming with a feature called clear image zoom, as well as even more simulated zoom with a full digital zoom. Here's the thing. Digital zooming has a very bad reputation across all brands of cameras because the results are almost always pretty weak. I'm guessing the marketing folks at Sony recognized this when they named their zooming clear image zoom technology, because it really is just a software-enhanced digital zoom, but it actually looks pretty darn good. And since both clear image and digital zoom can be turned on and off separately from one another, I'm happy to recommend leaving clear image zoom on and turning digital zoom off. There are a couple of things that you should know about before picking up this camera for yourself. As I mentioned, there's an LCD monitor and an electronic viewfinder, but unlike most cameras that have both, there's no proximity sensor to automatically switch the electronic viewfinder on when you put the camera up to your eye. You have to press a button to pick which is active. And the funny thing to me is that when the EVF is on, everything shows up on there. The image review after you snap a shot, the menus, and of course the image that you're about to shoot. But pressing the playback button to see an image or video that you just shot doesn't show up on the EVF. It's only on that rear LCD panel for some reason. Now on to the EVF. Sony makes cameras with some of the best electronic viewfinders out there, but this isn't one of them. Even after setting the diopter, I just couldn't get a viewfinder experience that I thought looked really good. I even asked half a dozen other people in my office, and they all thought the EVF was a little weak. Now keep in mind, if the only thing you've used before is an LCD, maybe from a camera phone or a point and shoot, and now you have an EVF to help you see and frame up your shots in bright sunshine, you'll definitely see an improvement over that LCD panel. So it should be fine for just composing a shot. But if you're used to just about any other EVF or maybe an optical viewfinder, this one does come up a little bit short. Let's wrap up by talking about video. Now, with all the professional video options on the market, I don't expect a lot of pros will be thinking about this for commercial projects. There's noticeable rolling shutter during panning, and there's no mic jack for an external audio source. You can add Sony mics to the multi-interface shoe, but there isn't an on-board option for XLR or 1/8-inch mic jacks. The video itself is good quality, and the internal stereo microphone does a nice job of capturing sound. At full resolution in moderate to low indoor light, you'll notice a little video noise, nothing too distracting though, and in sunshine the video is bright and crisp. Based on the price point and feature set, Sony certainly appears to be targeting this at the consumer market. But there are quite a few controls and advanced features to keep people engaged as their skill set grows. The quality of the images, the wide variety of E-mount lenses available, and the full feature set will make this a solid competitor at this price point. And the fact that it looks and handles like a DSLR body means that the Sony Alpha A3000 mirrorless camera is sure to find a loyal fan base. For B&H and Kelby Training, I'm Larry Becker. Thanks for watching.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.
Scott Kelby here, and welcome to this quick tour of our online training. We have hundreds of online classes for you, covering everything from lighting to landscape photography. From portrait photography to sports, we have classes on wedding, automotive photography, shooting, food, fashion, travel, you name it. The most incredible part of this is the price. You get all of this for just $199 a year, or you can pay monthly for just $24.95. 24-hour a day, 7-day a week access from anywhere in the world. I invite you to join with us today and start learning right now.